Mike Gallagher.
Portions of our show are brought to you by M. Dean Owens, CPA. And, you know, I like to tell you regularly that my CPA can be your CPA. So this is pretty neat. I mean, I didn't expect this. Over the weekend, over the holiday weekend, I get a text from Dean saying, I'm just sharing some news with you. It looks like Friday afternoon, I'll be ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Let's welcome M. Dean Owens, CPA, important partner of the Mike Gallagher Show, who would honeymoon with us on his cruise, on the cruise, the Patriots Alaska cruise. Dean, good to see you. What in the world are you doing ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange this Friday?
You know, I cannot take any credit whatsoever. I've got a good friend, Michael Gade, who's involved with this ETF called the Free Market. It trades under TMKT, and it's a play on deregulation and companies that'll benefit from that. And he sent me a text yesterday and said, hey, when I'm doing this, I know it's short notice. Can you guys join us? I said, sure. So looks like it'll be a quick trip in and out Friday to the New York Stock Exchange.
Now, I'm going to warn you, I got to just give you an alert. You can't carry here. Please don't make me bail you out.
Well, we'll get some time on the phone. You tell me some tricks and tips that I need to know for moving around New York City, because that's strange land to me.
Oh, it is. This is like, you are the pride and joy of Paducah, Kentucky. You've been helping so many people in our audience with financial planning and tax savings and all the great stuff you guys do. And I'm picturing you with your cowboy hat, walking down Wall Street and feeling like you just walked into a movie, you know, because this is definitely not Paducah, you know?
Yeah, but you got to back a brother's play. You know, if somebody asks you to do something, you know how we do.
Of course.
That's what we do.
Of course you do. And that's who you guys are. So just look, only advise, just don't make eye contact. Okay. Remember that one. Just don't make any eye contact, you know, especially when they come jumping up at you and want to panhandle and want some money from you. Don't make eye contact. Just keep walking. But let's make some eye contact. Let's have some clarity about what Dean Owens CPA offers to so many people. You've been working with me on long-term planning. Look, I'm 65. I hope to go many, many years at this job, but you know, there's going to be a time when I'm going to hang up my spurs. The tax code, as you've explained to me, is set up to encourage short-term tax planning with an immediate reward, only to see the retiree or their children pay a much larger tax bill later. How can retirees get off that sort of short-term emotional roller coaster and create the lowest lifetime tax liability, Dan?
Dean?
Dan.
What you've got to come to terms with is you're going to pay some tax at some point. And then when you come to that, then you ask, how do I pay it at the lowest possible rate? You know, a lot of our folks that are in retirement, they have capital gains and dividends, and they're still down in the 12% tax bracket. Well, until you hit the 22% tax bracket, your long-term capital gains and dividends tax rate is 0. Well, if you delay that long enough and then cash in, you may end up throwing yourself into a 22% tax bracket that you wouldn't have had it could have been 0. You've got your IRAs, your 401ks, all your retirement plans. Someone is going to pay tax when those are withdrawn. So we ask the question, should that be mom or dad, hopefully at 12% instead of the kids at 22, 24, 32% or more? And just when should you pay that? And obviously we would like to delay paying our taxes as long as possible. But you know, the difference between 12% and 22% is not 10%. That's an 83% increase in tax. So paying it today at a lower rate is much wiser than paying it tomorrow at a much higher rate. And when we also got to worry about Medicare taxes, you know, because as your income goes up, so does your Medicare surcharges. And, so that's a big part of it is planning. We need to know where the kids are as far as income. And it's not because we want to be nosy, but, you know, if the kids are, clerking at Dollar General, you probably let them pay the tax. But if they're out here, doing rocket science, mom and dad probably need to pay that tax. So it takes some planning. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. It takes being relational. We have to know the client and know what's going on. And that's what we try to do, is be relational so that we can understand and look down the road and see what's likely to happen. How do we put ourselves in the best spot possible?
Tuesday Tax Day with Dean Owen, and I'm going to give you the way you can contact Dean's office in just a moment or two. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, has been touring the country touting the no tax on tips. President Trump has been committed to lowering tax obligations. But look, you've shared with me that a whole lot of people are overpaying their taxes, especially those over age 65. Can you kind of walk through the no taxes on tips and what you and your team have discovered about people who are simply just paying too much in tax?
Well, since the tax change was effective January 1st, so it's retroactive. So we've been living with a lower tax rate for the entire year. It just now became official. So, and the IRS stingily has not lowered their withholding tables to reflect the additional family tax credits, the $6,000 credit or tax deduction, and no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. So they haven't changed their tables, so people are not feeling that in their pocket right now. That's not a problem per se. You're going to get that money back next year when you file your taxes, but you could be having that in your pockets today. If you got a family maybe that's struggling, and a lot of folks who work for tips or overtime are struggling, they could have more money in their pocket today. And again, you're making it retroactive to January, so whatever they've earned at this point, they've overpaid on, and they can reduce their withholding going forward. It takes a very minimal amount of planning, but you can put as much as a few $100s extra in your pocket every month, and for a lot of families, that'll make a difference.
Look, you've made a difference not only in my life. I wish I'd met you years ago, but in the lives of a lot of our listeners who have reached out to you. It's real simple. Don't wait. Call Dean Owen and his team today, 270-554-0720. Let Dean and his team work with you. And again, it's all about the relationship. It's all about saving you a lot of money. It's about planning a financial future that makes sense for you. Call Dean Owen, CPA, 270-554-0720, 270-554-0720, or you can just visit owencpa.com. That's owencpa.com. Dean Owen, keep fighting the good fight, and please, good luck. Don't forget, Situational Awareness Friday. Keep your head on a swivel.
Will do. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Dean. And of course, I exaggerate a little bit. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not great. It could be better. Every city could be better under Republican leadership. I think I've been in a pretty good mood today, considering the way my day started. I haven't even told you the story about trying to take money out of an ATM. The ATM machine, a big major bank, not going to mention names, keeps the card, gobbles the money, doesn't give me the money, doesn't give me the card back, like my worst nightmare. And I'm standing there at the Port Authority subway terminal calling the bank saying, help, and they're like, buddy, you're on your own, because I didn't use their bank's card to withdraw the money. So I think I've been breathing. I've been doing a lot of little karma, or not karma. Well, maybe it is karma. I've been doing some Zen breathing. Hum, and then the show started, and the you know what hit the fan. But that's okay. There's always tomorrow.